How you doing? Peter B here, founder of Vegas Family Solar, right here in the deserts of Southern Nevada. Solar tips in under 2 minutes, give or take. I usually go over. I need to change that to like solar tips under 3 or 4 minutes. But I wanted to talk about lead aggregators briefly. There are a lot of great lead generating companies, digital marketers out there who do a wonderful job at getting people to opt into their funnel and then sell that information to contractors like myself and others. But I want to share with you my perspective and what I see, what's happening in the industry. And this goes for all of them. Angie's List, Home Advisor, from the great marketers who are running Facebook ads, radio ads, and other mediums. The way it works is really quite simple. You might hear on their ads that they really care about the people that they're serving, but they want to make money. That's the name of the game, right? I mean, we all want to make money. So what happens is these great digital marketers will, send out posts, create what's called a lead magnet, get people to opt into those lead magnets, and all of those folks who are opting in are a tremendous amount of value to that lead aggregator. They'll compile all these people who have raised their hand and said, hey, I might have some interest in that product or service that I saw that came down in my feed. So these lead aggregators got all this valuable information, and they tell all these contractors, hey, I got people who want what you're selling, who want your service, and you just got to pay the price for these leads. So these leads can range from, $2, $3, $4, $500, $1,200 to $3,000 for some of these leads. And hey, that's pretty good if you can close that deal and still make a profit. But unfortunately, what you see more often than not are contractors who can't or don't have the ability or time or bandwidth to market themselves. They'll buy these leads. And of course, they overpay for those leads because guess what? Everyone basically overpays for everything today, right? So they overpay for these leads, and now they have a massive incentive, and they're almost compelled to go and close that job. And they have to make up the money for the cost of the lead and make a profit on that job. But unfortunately, these guys are not closing that job that's going to justify the risk, the time, the energy, the licensing, the fees that we all have to pay. We all have to pay to be in business ourselves. So they take this job, sometimes take it at a small loss, or certainly not worth the time or the risk. And what that does is it drives up the cost for the consumer. Also, it pushes down the craftsmanship and the level of detail that the contractor would likely normally pay. Like these old contractors, they don't have to be old, but what a lot of times when they feel they're not making the money that they should, they begin to turn a blind eye to their craftsmanship, and they just want to rush out and get that job done. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. That's human behavior. And I think we're all guilty of that to some degree. It's real easy to say, hey, I'm not making the money on this job. I shouldn't have done it. Let's hurry up and get the hell out of here, get that check, and then just, forget this whole incident ever happened type of thing. So that's what happens, unfortunately, more often than not when I see the lead aggregators getting a bunch of contractors and getting them to bid on a lead, driving up the cost of that lead, which drives up the cost of the job. And unfortunately, more often than not, it pushes down the craftsmanship. My advice to anyone who's looking for, electrical installation, a plumber, a HVAC, a technician, a roofer, solar, battery backup, you name it, the best thing that you can do is get a referral. Speak to people who you know, like, and trust, who have had what you want done in the terms of service. Ask them, hey, who would you recommend? That's the best opportunity. That's the best way to go about it. You're likely going to get a much better price, and someone who feels more in touch with you because they don't want to let down the referral. If someone refers me business, I have that person in mind big time. I don't want to let this person down, and I go over the top to please my new customer so it reflects very good or very well on the referral that made that connection for me. Hope this helps. All the best. Y'all take care.